On June 18, 2019, Bellarmine University accepted an invitation to join the Atlantic Sun Conference. In doing so, they agreed to move 17 different sports to Division I, including basketball. In consecutive seasons, Bellarmine's basketball team entered the last 2 weeks of the season in contention for the regular season conference championship. Coach Scott Davenport was gracious enough to give us all access to his team leading up to their matchup with their conference foe, Jacksonville State. So first off, I want to thank you for letting us take some time out of your day and come to the walkthrough, come to sit with you guys during your pregame meal, and then record stuff with you before the game and after the game. So first off, gracious for your time on that.
Well, the reason that I'm so willing is I get asked, like if I give a corporate talk, people will ask, they'll say, Coach, you came to Bellarmine and they had won 9 games the year before you got there, and 6 years later you won a national championship. They think I'm going to say we ran some special play, or it's not. The reason I am so open to this is the number one reason for our success. No different now transitioning Division II to Division I. A year ago, the last Saturday of the year, we played Liberty for the conference championship. This year, with 3 to go, we've already clinched a bye in the conference tournament, as well as the right to host. And tonight, we were playing for first place. The number one reason, the greatest recruiters in this program are the players. If you have an accounting firm, a law practice, a medical practice, and you have a team of 5 greatest doctors, well, the 6th great doctor wants to join your team. These players deserve that much credit. The greatest marketing tool in this program, the greatest recruiters in this program are the players. Because then another great player wants to join them and be like them. They deserve all the credit.
So before we go into the actual game and talking about the game, you just mentioned something about that transition from Division II to Division I. What are your thoughts on the 5-year four-year buffer period that from the transition?
We're hopeful there will be a vote in April, and the backing of this vote is the SAC, the Student Athlete Advisory Committee, made up of representatives of every school in the NCAA Division I, and they are strongly behind this to become a 2-year transition period, which means this would be it for us, and from now evermore we'll be eligible. Right now, as it stands, we'll be eligible for the regular season conference championship, the conference tournament championship, the NIT, the CBI, and there's going to be a new postseason tournament of 16 to 32 teams unveiled here shortly.
So take me through, if you guys win the conference championship, does the second place team that you all beat go to the NCAA tournament as the automatic qualifier?
Or whoever won the regular season.
So what happens if you
whoever
guys win
was
both?
The number one seed.
So if you guys win both, and whoever you guys beat in that conference championship,
I don't tell you.
That's the part that doesn't make a lot of sense.
Somebody else is going to worry about. I agree 100%. Everybody's going to give every ounce we got for each other. That's the key. That's what makes this such a beautiful game, especially the way you play it. Just keep that bar. We've pushed you. Now it's your turn. It's your time. Do this for you. Do this for you. Do this for that guy next to you, probably behind. Be straight.
All right, guys. Remember.
Have a great game. Have a great game. Come on. Rebound that ball. Come on. Have a great game. Come on. Go to work. Go to work, Big Kurt. Come on.
Okay, everybody listen. All right. They made 4 threes. The one we went underneath, that's totally on coaches. We fouled a three-point shooter. That's not what we do. The other 3 solely off the catch. Look, all that being said, and it's literally a 7-point game. Now, offensively, we're too passive. Don't let them back us on our heels, man. Cut at them. I mean, Kurt, what do you do? We never do that. What was that? And we just give them the ball. If you'll trust your offense and cut without the ball to score, you can always replace yourself. You won't have to settle. Now, the problem is we haven't got any easy shots. All right.
Hey, listen, I would guess it would be some kind of lob look. Sam, you can't get caught going around. Whoever's got the ball out, I want you not all the way in his lap, but back up here. Okay?
You're playing between him and the basket. You understand?
JB's got it out. All right, everybody else, be ready to chase. Be ready to jump to it. Ready to
3
get
seconds.
back here. Hey, let's get this right here.
Hey, listen. Just win this war right here. We're fine.
Hey, we have to secure this rebound.
Guys, when we run offense like we practice it, it's been good to us. Come on, just adjust and pick it up.
Right here. Finish this kill right here.
Let's go. Secure this rebound. Secure this rebound.
3 seconds. 3 seconds.
You guys giving up points or taking shots. Why don't you guard somebody? I don't care if you get beat, but to be that soft. Hold up. Excuse me. Think it's me. It's objective. Right there. That's all you need to see. Right there. Look at that. 11. That's it, right there. You can take all these other stats, you can do anything you want, but that's it right there. The offense, you're scared to death. What's the turnover, 7-2? 8-2. Now, I'll be honest. I understand the pity party. I really do question right now if you want to win the game or just want to get the game won. I really do question. I really do. That I can't describe how pitiful that is. The next time you get on the floor will be the first.
So coming into the walkthroughs, the first thing that you mentioned to me was you had a lot of guys under the weather.
No
Dylan-
COVID. No
Yeah.
COVID. We've all been tested. JB, we had done nothing on the court since Wednesday's night game. Dylan went a little bit on Thursday. It was done. Ethan felt horrible today. Zach Jennings didn't even make it to the game. And Alec Freeman, a starter, is meeting with a surgeon about a labrum issue in his hip to have surgery. So we were obviously shorthanded.
Yeah, Dylan today played 26 minutes, only took 5 shots.
Yeah.
Now, one person I did notice during the game was C.J. Fleming, who, I mean, is a
Career
constant.
high.
Yeah.
Career high. So what I'll say to everybody is somehow get video of our team and ask yourself this question. How many junior high school basketball players in the United States of America, how many thousands and hundreds of thousands of players look like C.J. Fleming? A lot. Tons of them. How come they're not? C.J. doesn't look like LeBron. Nobody does. How come they're not C.J.? His career high tonight. Incredible kid.
So the first meeting you guys had at Jacksonville State, you guys lost by 5 points. Tonight, different outcome, lost 82-67. What do you think is the biggest difference for Jacksonville State? I mean, obviously they hit 15 threes.
That's it. They made 9 down there. They made 6 more here, that's 18 points. There you go. But to break it down more than that, we let them get started early. They had 5 at the under 12 timeout in the first half. They had 5 threes, and we fouled a 3-point shooter, so that's the equivalent of 6. And we just never came out of that hole.
I know Darian Adams had 7 points the first meeting. He had 21 this game.
He's one of the best players in the league, hands down.
What do you think he saw differently to have a better game this time?
You'd have to ask him that, but he's one of the best players in the league. I mean, we have as much respect for him as any player in this league, period. He is a great basketball player. He was one of the best players in the OBC when he was at Troy prior to transferring to Jacksonville State.
So there's obviously a potential that you guys can meet again, being the top 2 teams in the conference. Them hitting 15 threes and you already seeing them twice, what do you think that has to change as far as y'all's game plan, or is it just maybe get healthier?
I won't spend 1 second of my energy worrying about that. I'm worried about Lipscomb. We're just not. We just don't do that. I mean, that's not, for me to look ahead on the possibility of playing Jacksonville State again, yeah, we'll take this film, break it down, and improve on it. But in terms of game planning or changing things for that, that's way down there. That's 2 weeks away.
So from here to Wednesday, what do you think are the biggest factors? Is just getting healthy?
Well, we're going to back off individual instruction in the morning that we have scheduled because we've got to get guys healthy. And we're just trying to hydrate. We got to get them healthy. And we'll meet tomorrow at 3 o'clock for film and start right in on Lipscomb. We're very, very consistent on what we do. Wouldn't make any difference if we were playing Gonzaga or playing Jacksonville State night. Very consistent in what we do.
So you mentioned something about the players being your biggest recruiting, and I know when we spoke in Vegas, I asked you what went into the scheduling, and I kind of wanted to get you to talk about that. So I know you coached under Coach Crum, you coached under Coach Pitino, and those guys like to challenge their teams. I asked you if that was part of it?
No, scheduling for us, the word culture is used a lot in sports now, and I just kind of beg to differ. It's having a program. And by definition of a program, in my opinion, that means you have a plan. So we have a plan, Gonzaga. And you pick on Gonzaga specifically, but I'll ask you this. 23 years ago, 1999, I'm at Louisville. We played Gonzaga in the NCAA tournament. Who was Gonzaga 23 years ago? They were Bellarmine. So, again, defining a program means you have a plan. Next year, scheduled to play Kentucky, Louisville, Duke, and we're not done. UCLA, Loyola Marymount, Murray coming here, Evansville, going to Evansville. Scheduling is a huge component of it because it means you have a plan.
Can you speak on how you feel about finally getting Louisville on the schedule now that you're in Division I?
Oh, ecstatic for the community. Forget this is the best basketball community in the country, period, hands down. And there's only 2 schools in the country closer in Division I than U of L and Bellarmine. And that's Lipscomb and Bellarmine. Got us by 0.7 of a mile. We should celebrate the game and celebrate this community. Nothing brings people in this community better than college sports. Brings everybody together. Everybody that's listening to this, ask yourself, football, basketball, have you ever sit next to somebody at a game? You never saw them before in your life, but at some point during a game you were high-fiving them. It's because of college sports. So why not use basketball to help downtown, to help JCPS, to help first responders, to help nurses, doctors. Why not bring everybody together? College basketball will do that.
So one last question. I know you guys signed, what is it, was it 3 game with Louisville? Is that something two game? Is that something that you guys will look to extend in the future?
Yeah. Obviously they've got, it'll be different. But yeah, Josh Hurd and I did this over the volleyball game, and that was one of the neatest things I've ever experienced. Our board in our locker room, when we left Freedom Hall, we signed the board. All the players signed it. They wrote little notes. Baylor Yonker even drew a cardinal bird. He wrote notes. Louisville, we came back the next week, and Louisville had won to go on to the Final Four. The other half of the board, they wrote a note to us, all of them. DeBeer, all those players had signed all the board. I've covered it with a temporary board, if you notice. We've got one ordered. It should be here next week. We will take that board down and have it totally encased in glass and display it maybe somewhere here in Freedom Hall. Because that's a University of Louisville volleyball team. That's a Bellarmine men's basketball team. They didn't know anybody. What brought them together? Sharing a facility and giving of themselves to each other. So we gave to them. They gave back to us. It's a great message. Let's take that board and let's tell the story. Let's cover it. Let's preserve it. Let's display it. And let's teach young people. Man, look what they did.
Well, Coach, I can't thank you enough again for your time.
No, thank you.
I appreciate you.
Tough outcome. I mean, it's tough. I'm going to get on the phone right now with a bunch of our guys.
This isn't normal. This isn't done. Not making this transition in the semifinals now of your conference tournament. This isn't done. These guys, they go thank everybody. I mean, luckiest guy in the world to coach them.
Well, you go have your moment with your team. Congratulations.
It means so much. There's not an ounce of entitlement in that locker room. They appreciate it. And I got some help. Can you say "Go Knights" real loud with your pom-pom?
Go